The next presenter is Yash Vadher, a PhD student from also Saurashtra University in India from the same department. And the presentation is Tempest Williams, Crafting an Ethical Ecology Through Environmental Literature. So Yash, if you are ready, you can start.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello. And good evening to Pratiksha ma'am and Anna ma'am. My name is Yash Vadher, as you have just introduced. And as my title suggests, my focus is upon ethical ecology with respect to the works of Tempest Williams. Now, starting off from Tempest Williams, those who have knowledge regarding American literature or are currently working upon American literature, they know that she is a prominent author, an essayist, and an activist, especially in the field of environmental literature. And she has dedicated her entire career to creating an ethical ecology that goes beyond traditional nature writing. Now, giving about a short biography of her life, especially her her writing career. So she writes in the genre of creative non-fiction. There are elements of natural history, women's issue, as well as lyricism and poetry in her work. She herself views as a storyteller of place and of people in place. For her, landscape is like a bedrock. It shapes the culture. Her perspective has been shaped by geography, gender, and culture, lying upon the nature, the mother nature. Of course, with a name like Tempest, there is a certain amount of anger that comes up in her writing when she sees greed replacing generosity, when she sees corporations shattering the communities, when she sees that native people's rights are being violated by her own people. She writes out of love, a love of place, a love of people, and a love towards nature. More than anything, when it was asked to her in an interview, she has said that more than a writer or even an activist, I see myself as an engaged citizen. For her, environmental issues are not just issues of one or two disciplines, but they are social justice issues, issues which needs justice socially. Now, coming towards ethical ecology, a term which is explained in layers in her works. It is a discipline in philosophy that studies the moral relationship of human beings to the environment and its non-human contents. Now, this entry covers 5 elements. If we try to divide ethical ecology, there are 5 elements. Number 1, the challenge of environmental ethics to the anthropocentrism, which is human centeredness. The challenge of environmental ethics to the anthropocentrism. Second, the development of this discipline from the late 1960s and 70s. Third one, the connection of deep ecology, feminist ethics, and social ecology to politics. Fourth one, the attempt to apply traditional ethical theories and to support contemporary environmental concerns. And last but not the least, the ethics of sustainability and climate change. Now, going deep in this term, I would like to explain that ethical ecology depends upon the value of any object, any nature object. And this value is distinct between two divisions. Number one, instrumental value, and number two, intrinsic value, which is non-instrumental value. Now, what is this? The instrumental value is the value of things as a means to further some other ends, which is, for example, certain fruits have instrumental value, which is valued only and after, if for suppose a bat eats that fruit, then only that fruit has a value. While another type, which was intrinsic value, is a value of things as ends in themselves, regardless of whether they are also useful as means to the other ends. Their values are not limited to their individual. They are useful to other beings too, to other natural slash human sources too. Coming back to the example of fruit, the fruit, if it is eaten by a bat, it has an instrumental value because it helps the bat in surviving, for survival. Now, it is widely agreed that fruits does not have value which ends in themselves. If no one eats it, it does not has value. This is what believed. This is what widely accepted, right? In addition, if you see another example, let's say, let's take an example of acquiring knowledge. A teacher, right? If a person gains knowledge, acquires knowledge, and does not passes it to another generation, it has intrinsic value. But if it passes on to other students and works upon it, and it helps many generations, then it has instrumental value. The thing comes to nature when we only keep mind in those things which has instrumental value. Those things which has intrinsic value, we exploit them. We do not pay enough attention and care of them. That's where ethics come in place in ecology. I have a table which I want to present if it's possible. Mhm. Okay, let me read it. The anthropocentrism, which is the cause of exploitation or say pollution, it is because we considered that we are uniquely privileged just because we are the one who have involved from say Homo sapiens, right now Homo sapiens to our ancient, which was said to be apes or monkey, right? But it's not true. Each other species have also been evolved in one or another sense, right? In work of Terry Tempest Williams, she tries to explain the same thing in her work. For example, in her work Finding Beauty in a Broken World, which was earlier titled as Mosaic, because she believes that we live in a moment of fragmentation. And according to her, we need to put these pieces of cut glasses like a taser of a mosaic. And how do we move toward the wholeness from this fragmentation? Our ecology, our society has been divided in these different divisions. She answers herself that we can create beauty even in the midst of death and suffering if we structure, if we witness the problem. if we witness what's happening to the nature. The first step, which she firmly says towards ethical ecology, is that witness. We need to witness the things then and then only, and we need to address the problems then and then only we will find a solution. In another work, which is Refuge, an unnatural history of family and press, uh, it, it, it has a plot of a great salt lake located near Utah, USA, and the migratory birds which are used to come there and inhabited. And the story goes on with eco-critical explorations of human nature relationships and environmental degradation. Williams uses the lake's natural cycles and changes to symbolize the flow of life, death, and renewal in the natural world. She tries to create a harmony between a human life, the stages of human life, and ecology, the changes of with related to this lake in the life of birds, how they both have a connectedness, a harmony. Her personal family experiences are parallel, are juxtaposed with the ecological losses of the lake and its inhabitants. She draws the parallels between human suffering and the suffering of the natural world, emphasizing the interconnectedness, as I just said, of personal as well as environmental experiences. She she says that I have always believed, and I quote, I have always believed that climate change is an ecological issue, but I believe first and foremost that it is a spiritual issue. If we do not recognize that this is our ethical challenge in the 21st century, then I think we will fail to respect and honor the future generations that would follow us. At the end, I would like to conclude by saying that it was a lesson for me on how we might approach the land and each other with respect to humanity, with respect to nature. There is something deeper, wiser, and older than we are, and it's called the earth. And that it's our responsibility to create a community of, of care and of respect. This can only be the bedrock of radical joy and of ethical ecology in a true sense. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for a thoughtful presentation. Do we have any questions?
Questions or observations are welcome. If
Okay, so there are no questions. Thank you very much, and we move
thank you,
in.
ma'am. Thank you so much for the opportunity.